Hey everyone, it's another Nights with Ping episode. How are you all? Let me check. Oh, there we go. It's back down. Coming to you live from Melbourne, Australia on this Friday afternoon. Very cool Friday today. Not very hot down here. Not hot like it was on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's quite cool for a summer day. So how is everyone in the chat? Let me say hello to people. DJ was here first. He says, if I can't be the best, I'll be the first. Well, there you go. You were the first, buddy. Catatonic said she'll try and make it on time. Yep, another Maria is here. Hey, how are you? Gambler had to go get groceries apparently because the shops in his province close at 9. Danny Mitchell, the chat celebrity, is here. Hey, Danny. Woos is here. Joy to the Woos. Yes, it is Christmas right now. Emily Narb is here and Shirl Huffman. Hey, Shirl Huffman. Nancy S. And Lux is here. Hey, Lux. Good to see you. And Nana Lana. Sherry Runs Late is here too. Who else is here? I'm just trying to see if I'm missing anyone. I don't think so. Nana Lana, Nancy S. Joy to the Woos. Lux is here. Danny Mitchell. All right. I'm sure more people will show up as we get into it. 9 o'clock is very early, apparently. It's like 6 o'clock in California. So it's like dinner time for them. So we'll talk about this first. What if I told you there's an issue in Australia to do with Indigenous arts? And you will be like, Ping, I know nothing about Indigenous arts. And I'll tell you, I don't know anything about Indigenous arts either. Except I know when something is wrong. And this is what's going on down here right now, and it is wrong. Hey, Edget, how are you? Edget says, recently started listening to you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here in the chat tonight. So I'm going to talk about this. I think it needs to be talked about. And it could be a crime. They're actually investigating right now. We're very early on this one. So the title, She'd Pick Up a Brush. She Knows How White Fellas View Art. I want to know what you guys think about that title. What do you think that means? And it says here, a 4-month investigation uncovers stunning new claims and footage over the level of white involvement in bringing APY Land's prized art to gallery walls. Now, you might be like, Ping, no one got murdered in this one. No, but it's still a crime, and we talk about true crime on here. It doesn't matter what it is. And I think if this is found to be proven, this is disgusting. It really is bad. And as you can see in this photo right here, that is a assistant at the gallery painting on an Aboriginal woman's painting. This is highly offensive to Indigenous people. They use a specific type of painting that's part of their dreaming, and it's very personal to them, and you shouldn't have white people touching it at all. And that's where the collectability comes in the art world, because it's hard to replicate because it's individual. And so we're going to talk about it a little bit. I'm going to show you what this means. James Avery says offensive to any artist, I think. Well, I don't know if this is normal in the normal art world where people collaborate, but I just know that this is highly offensive to Indigenous Australians. So I'm going to show you the little video here. I'm not going to explain what's going on in it, but we will talk about it, and I'll explain a bit more after we watch it. So let's watch this video.
And then this one here. Could you do with another broccoli there, or is that going to be too circular? I think the space is probably good. Yeah. There's space for breathing. Can I juice this one up a little bit?
Broccoli.
And then this one in a little bit. That's cheese. Do you want a bit of watering can on that? painting. That's actually nice, that space there.
Claro, yun, yun,
I might even. What do you think about putting a little bit of water?
Hey guys, how are you? There's my camera, it's back on. There you go. Um, you can see there's a assistant painting on her painting right there. And yeah, Marilyn Landis says, why are they messing with their artwork? It's for saleability reasons. Apparently they're saying it's so white people will buy it because it looks more indigenous or it looks more European, like it to a European palette. And that's just wrong. We're taking away stories from, their culture. And that's where I think personally, that's where the value is, for people who collect this type of art. It's so they can, share their stories from their culture and their dreaming time. And it sort of melds their world with ours. And you know, it allows them to express themselves. You can see some of the paintings that are accused of being manipulated here. And it says here, for the past 4 months, the Australian has been investigating serious allegations about white hands interfering in the making of black art in the studios of the wildly successful APY Art Center Collective. The abbreviation is APYACC. That's a long abbreviation, of which the Tala Arts is a member. We've been met with vehement denials, pages of emotional testimonials, repeated legal threats, and a Supreme Court injunction attempt, and one emphatic assurance: white staff never meddle in the artistic process during the creation of Indigenous art. Now, that may be their official denial, but if we read through this entire article, you would see that several artists, several insiders have come onto the record at one point or another and admitted that they had brought in certain artists. Maybe they are a little older and they can't do such large paintings, and they've been given these giant gallery style paintings to complete, and they're just not able to do it. So, to make them functional and sellable to these galleries, the people who work in the studios are taking what the artist can do, and then they're just completing it and just going, "Hey, it's finished. Let's send it out." It was done originally by the indigenous artist. Let's just send it on its way and get the money for it. And that's wrong. It's a misrepresentation of their stories, their culture, and that's we're not trying to do that anymore. That was something that we did to Indigenous Australians forever, probably, but it's horrible. We're trying to step away from that. We're not trying to take advantage of them anymore. We want to help them. We want to be their ally. We don't want to steal from them or misrepresent them anymore. And when you see and hear stories like this, there's a quote down here. They made something like $3.8 million last year in selling these types of paintings. This is a woman under fire. No, not her. That's Rachel Griffin. No, where is it? It's Sky O'Meara is the lady under fire. There she is, the arts administrator of the APYC, and she is the one that apparently has meddled in paintings that are supposed to be all indigenous. And there's quite a lot of quotes in this story where people are coming out and saying, "Oh, that must be her dreaming. She's just doing the painting as she sees it." So I there's a big investigation happening right now. There was an investigation done by a panel. They didn't have any, uh, com- they didn't have any authority to compel people to testify. They didn't have any whistleblower protection either, but they did find enough grounds to pass it on for further investigation, possibly criminal charges. So we will hopefully see more about this coming out in the Australian media over the next little while. And if it is proven in a court of law and, you know, These people come out and actually testify under oath or whatever in the court that these people have been manipulated and taken advantage of. Well, that's just setting back Australia like 50 years. I mean, I don't like seeing that, and I'm sure other Australians would probably hate to see that too. Here we can see there's an interview with a APY artist here called Paul Andy, and it says discusses Sky O'Meara's alleged interference, and this is from somebody that worked with them.
Paul, you were telling me the other day that sometimes you would be painting, and Sky would come and paint the painting. Can you just explain that? Get him to explain that.
And then she, what design that I put on my painting, and then she would come along, and then she would paint over it, and then start back again.
Why?
Yeah. That must be her dreaming that she wants to put down on it.
That must be her dreaming that she wants to put down. What do you mean? It's a collaborative process? Because that's not the way they present it to the Western art collectors or the collectors out in Europe. They present it as this is from the most remote place in South Australia, the most remote Indigenous communities ever, and it's all Indigenous hands, and these are pure Australian Indigenous artworks that are, reflect back to a dream time in 50,000 years ago, and false representation. Now, I don't want to get hit by a giant lawsuit from APYC, so I'm going to preface this by saying all my information comes from the article in the Australian, and I will get you the journalist name down here. It's a huge article. You can see. Look how far I'm scrolling. Where is his byline? There it is. It's Greg Beerup, featured writer, The Weekend Australian magazine, and this is his investigation. He's been doing it for about 4 years or something like that. He's been chasing this story to the depth of it. He's done a really great job trying to find out what is the truth of what's going on here, and he has been blocked at every road he's tried to get to. They've had lawsuits and criminal, tried to have like different court hearings and stuff over it. Really, really trying to protect their income. Here's another artist that she's saying that she witnessed Sky O'Meara's interference in Indigenous art. Oh.
And McKinty, what did you think about that when you saw that?
Oh, did we stop? There we go. There you go. You've heard it from a couple of different artists' mouths now that what they saw, and I don't think they're lying. Why would they do that? All it does is hurt themselves, because maybe some of their artwork will be discredited because it has white interference. So all they're doing is damaging, not really like them, because they're good artists, and they've sold other paintings through different galleries and different art collectives and stuff. I'm just saying, like, they're taking a risk by talking about it. So I can't see why they would, lie about it. They're not going to. And so this woman has been asked to stand down by almost every Indigenous art representation throughout that region, South Australia, Western Australia, the Northern Territory, any type of grassroots art movement across that region has asked her to step down and stand aside while the investigation completes. And she, so far, has refused to. She has refused to stand down and allow an impartial investigation. That is horrible and arrogant. That's the word that I come up with, arrogant. one thing to think that you're innocent and you haven't done anything wrong. That's fine, but stand down. Allow a proper investigation to take part. You know, you get the truth out there. Well, if you're afraid of the truth, why won't you stand down? So I don't want to see this happening in my country. I don't want to see Indigenous Australians misrepresented, especially when we just had a really interesting cultural moment a few months ago where there was a vote here, a national referendum to vote a Indigenous voice to Parliament. It failed. It did not get the numbers nationally to get across the line. And then you have something like this come out. So it feels like we've kicked them twice in 6 months. Like, let's do better for our Indigenous people, you know? And I'm not saying that this Sky O'Meara person hasn't done good things too. She probably has. She's probably raised millions of dollars for Indigenous arts programs and all sorts of things to help their communities out there. But it's an ethical issue. It's an ethical issue, and you got to do the right thing. That's all I got to say. So I will keep an eye on this. If you want to read more, I will leave a link in the description. You can read the entire article from Mr. Beerup. I think he's done a great job. And he's definitely going to be chasing this to the end. There's a link in the Australian. Let me read some of the comments. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people wanting to say stuff about this. Nanalana says, she just stated that their art wasn't any good and their feelings do not count. Right. I think one of the other things was, basically that she knows better about Aboriginal or Indigenous art, and it's horrible. Cheryl says, this is sacrilegious. I agree. Arrogant for sure, yes. Joy to the Wiz says, Ping, maybe they should contact the Current Affair. They will get to the truth of it. Well, there's actually like a giant inquiry going on right now. I don't think a Current Affair's got anything on this at the moment. It's heading up to a much higher level where charges can actually be laid. They're just working their way through the process right now. From what I understand, we could see bigger ramifications in the new year. So Nancy S says, this is BS. He looks so hurt. I agree. And I think they're scared to bite the hand that feeds them. They come from these impoverished, regional areas where the money they make off their art basically funds their community. And you could tell that's why he said, oh, she was just doing her dreaming. And that was an excuse. He wanted to soften the blow at the end. And that's, horrible. Horrible that he felt the need to do that. Danny Mitchell says, no way did these folks think that was okay. No, I don't agree either. I don't think anyone thinks that's okay. Thank you. Yep, another Maria says, glad you are covering this. My cell battery is low, so no chat tonight. Okay, Maria, have a good night. All right. I'll keep an eye on this, and yes, please give that a watch. I think I'll give the link a view and read the entire thing if you can find it somewhere. I'm sure it's going to be reproduced in other places, Reddit, etc. But it's worth the read. It really is. Let me just get the artist's name in full again. I mean, the author. I want to make sure he gets all the credit. Greg Beerup, featured writer for The Weekend Australia. Let me put his thing in chat. There's his name in chat, so you can look him up on Twitter or the Australian website or other publications. And yeah, I will keep an eye on this for you for sure. All right, let's share this tab. Here we go. All right, our second story for the night is this. Mum, 3 kids found dead after house fire were shot. They what? They were found dead after a house fire, but they had been shot as well. That does not sound good. And it says here, an Indiana mother and her 3 children were found dead late Tuesday afternoon after a house fire in rural Jefferson County. They had been shot before the fire, authorities said. Indiana State Police Sergeant Stephen Wheels identified the victims as Naomi Briner, 35, Adelia Briner, 12, and Leland Briner, 8, and Lila Briner, 6. Wheeler said the 4 family members had injuries consistent with gunshot wounds and that a coroner's office would determine the cause and manner of death. Now, if you've ever listened to Mr. Joseph Scott Morgan, you will know what the cause of death and manner of death are 2 different things. He explains that very well. He also says this is an ongoing investigation. However, at this time, investigators do not believe there is a threat to the public. That's an interesting statement. He also says it's sad, and what makes this even worse, it's Christmas time. A neighbor said that. A neighbor named Carol Woodfill told WAHS. She says, coming up to Christmas to see a family killed like that is plays on everyone's heartstrings, no matter the time of year, but definitely close to Christmas. Woodfill said she had seen the children out in the driveway jumping and playing in recent good weather. It's the whole family, it's the friends, the acquaintances, everybody that's suffering, she said. Neighbor Ralph Dean Jr. told WLKY he heard gunshots and then something that sounded like an explosion. I pretty much knew it was kids, and that's when I remembered them coming out and playing on this little playset here, he said, indicating a wooden playset sitting near the property line. How terrible. Let me see if I can find another article for this. I do have something here from Facebook. You can see here the Sergeant Stephen Wheeler's Indiana State Police. We know a lot about Indiana State Police from the Delphi investigation. They said here today, December 13th, 4 people who were found deceased inside a burning home on Telegraph Hill Road near Madison in Indiana have been identified. They were identified as those names we read before: Naomi Briner, Adelia, Leland, and Lila Briner. Believed to be Naomi was the mother of 3 of the younger victims. Further investigations has determined that all 4 of the deceased had injuries consistent with gunshot wounds at the time they were located inside the residence. So who are they looking for in relation to this? That's what I would like to know. It says here the preliminary investigation indicates that first responders responded to an address in the 1600 block of East Telegraph Hill Road shortly after 4 p.m. on Tuesday, December 12th. When emergency personnel arrived at the residence, they found the home to be on fire. Upon entering the residence, fire department personnel located the bodies of 4 individuals in the residence. Despite life-saving measures, all 4 of the individuals were pronounced dead at the scene. How terrible. They said more information will be forthcoming in the future. Here you go. There's some photos of the scene with the Indiana State Police crime truck there. And that's a fire truck with their equipment on the back. Very, very sad. Happening so close to Christmas, wiping out an entire family. Just haven't got the details to see if anyone knows a lead for this, but no, just a lot of prayers and thinking of the family on Facebook. Let me just check something. Nope, not that. I don't want to print it. No, there's really not a lot of, are they looking for someone? Are they looking for a partner? I mean, people don't just wind up shot in a house fire for no reason, or, they don't magically put themselves in the house with gunshot wounds. So I hope this is not like the one in Australia the other day with the baby and the mum. We had a young baby, only a matter of weeks old, and the mother, both found dead in the property by the father. Really, really, really tragic circumstances for that. They determined that was a filicide. The mother had killed herself and the baby, unfortunately. I hope this is not a similar thing. Because they're not saying that they're looking for anyone. They're saying there's no threat to the public at this time. Yeah, I don't see anything. Does anyone in the chat heard if they're looking for someone for this? Yeah, he likes to read the computer. Whereas Mr. Muffin looks as though he's reading the computer. He is. He's watching what I'm doing on the computer. He likes to watch the screen. It's like his favorite activity. He thinks he's helping. Flying DJ. Flying DJ says, I'm going to tell them my name is Danny Mitchell and I demand that you let me pass the paywall. That's right, because he's a chat celebrity. Yeah, I know it's a subscription site. I was hoping maybe you guys might be able to Google the name of the writer. That's why I put the writer's name up. And it might be on a overseas site like Fox or CBS or Sky or something. Maybe one of those affiliates picked it up where you guys don't have to read through a paywall. I know. Do they think that the fire is magic and that people can't see it? They're like, oh, that house is very warm and has giant flames. We should just continue on our way and not call for assistance. Of course, people are always going to do that. Yes, here's my new assistant. Haven't heard of this case? Okay, it's good. Maybe I've got a bit of a new one here for you. All right, let me have a quick look. Naomi Briner. Just let me see if there's any other information. 5 hours ago. Let me see if I can find anything about. Okay, the Sun in the US Sun says it's a mystery. Says here, a mum and her 3 kids have been found with gunshot wounds after a devastating fire ravaged their home. There's a photo of them, of Naomi, Adelia, and Leland and Lila. She definitely looks like she had her hands full as a mom. I don't envy her, although I do, because she has 3 beautiful little kids. Unfortunately, they're all gone, but she looked like she had a wonderful family. I'm just trying to see if there's any more information. There's their home. Burnt down to nothing left, really. Just scrap iron. Let's see. That's a cute photo of them. First responders raced to the scene on December 12th at 4 p.m. The bodies of the victims were transported to Jefferson County Coroner's Office to be identified, leading Indiana State Police to announce the identities of the family of 4 on Wednesday. The Indiana State Police are taking lead on the investigation in partnership with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, the State Fire Marshal's Office, the Coroner's Office, and the Prosecutor's Office. Although the investigation is ongoing, the police do not believe there is a threat to the public. At this time, it is unclear if the family died from gunshot wounds or the fire. Autopsies are scheduled to be done in Hamilton County, Ohio, to determine the cause and manner of death. But there's no other information like, are they looking for someone? Is there someone missing from their household? Is there a part of the family that wasn't found in the fire? Is there someone they're looking for? Or is this a random occurrence? Like, I don't think so, but okay, apparently a former co-worker of Naomi's shared their grief. I am devastated. Naomi was a wonderful person and a great mother. I loved working with her, and she will be missed by all that knew her. You can see investigators at the scene here checking out the property. But other than that, there really isn't. It's interesting that they're not asking for someone or, looking for it. Hey, Mr. Roy, what are you messaging me about, sir? Oh, that's interesting, Roy. That's very interesting, buddy. I'll check into that after the show. I don't know why it did that. I'll check it out. Burnt Popcorn says sometimes people go nuts at Christmas, like going postal. I have heard that, yeah. Those kids are cute. They were really cute, right? Very, very cute. Joy to the Woo says Molly Cat sits on arm of rest of recliner and watches TV. They like to watch TV, don't they? That's what I'm wondering. Where is maybe they're divorced but you would think you would hear him in the media or something going, "Oh my God, my like my children and my ex-wife, they're gone. I can't believe it. I'm gonna have a horrible Christmas. My children are gone. Where is that person?" Or are they looking for that person? That's why it's very interesting that there is no information. He does. He suspects everything. Yeah, I find that very strange that we don't have that information at all. Let me close this. I want to check one more place. Hold on. Let me check one more place for information about her. Nope, not that one. Naomi Briner. I want to see what the streets are saying. What are the streets saying? Let's have a look. I'm just checking out Twitter to see if there's more current information. There's like 4 posts on the entire thing. Apparently, yeah, see someone asked in the comments here. So the police are looking for her current or recently ex-partner. And then someone says, that's where I would start. So it seems like maybe there's something being kept under wraps until they can locate him. Maybe there's something going on there. Because I think everyone has the same question we do. Who are they looking for and where is the dad? Robin Lane says, Twitter or X is the streets. That's right. What are the streets saying? Oh, Danny Mitchell, that is very interesting. Danny Mitchell says, I saw the other day that they recovered the black box from the Bentley. So if you don't know what he's talking about that crash that happened the day before Thanksgiving, where that Bentley went flying through the border crossing near Niagara. And that's very interesting. I wonder what they will find in there. Oh, Laura G, that is an interesting point. Maybe the partner is deployed in the military or National Guard or something like that. Maybe they have to be able to tell him that. I'll keep an eye on this. We will. If I hear more information, I will let you know for sure. Or if you hear something and I haven't mentioned it, like in the coming days, reach out to me at sundaywithping@gmail.com. Also, for people, I have changed my Twitter handle. It is now Nights with Ping. It's a little easier for people to remember. And so if you're not on Twitter, you can get updates for the live show, updates for what days we're doing shows and specials and things like that, all on Twitter at Nights with Ping. Roy, did you just message me again? Oh, okay, that's a good point. Hold on, Roy. I'll grab that. Roy sent me a message about Indigenous paintings in Canada, because they have First Nation people in Canada too. what does it say? It looks like they have had issues in Canada with First Nations paintings and people uh, plagiarizing or, you know, I don't know what the word would be, but basically cultural appropriation, I guess that's the word. It says here, Autumn Smith received a photo of what looked like her artwork, a self-portrait with her grandmother inspired by a memory of the day her grandmother gave her a traditional name, only it wasn't her painting, it was a post from the Wasaking First Nation artist Tyler Rushnell's Instagram account. Smith says Rushnell copied her work but changed the plants in her version. To see someone else take that without understanding the story and the connection that we all had to it is hurtful. I was very hurt when I saw it. Smith said in her painting she wanted to honor the teaching she received about becoming a woman and her traditional name. She's from the Magnetawan First Nation just south of Sudbury, Ontario. The painted sky and tobacco plants flanking the two women in Smith's painting represent the. I'm not even going to pronounce that. Sorry guys, I can't read or pronunciate native Canadian language. I can't do it. But it says basically the place in the sky where the water comes from. Okay, that's really nice. So which one? Rushnell. So this is apparently the stolen one, and this is the original. And this is sort of like being plagiarized apparently. So it shows you that all around the world, people, especially indigenous artists, are having issues. So apparently she reached out to that artist, Tyler Rushnell. They're talking about how she saw the painting and thought that it was hers. And he says he'll give credit where it's due and mean it and apologized. I don't know, they're just having a conversation about it, but it sounds like they listened to each other and sort of came to a compromise in the end. Yeah, they're saying that, there's enough room to go around for everyone, and there's enough space in the art world for everyone to have a go and be recognized for their contribution, just like there is on YouTube and other creative spaces. So there's no need to plagiarize without giving credit or, saying where your inspiration comes from. I think it's a little different in the Australian case. The Australian case is literally diluting Indigenous Australians' artistic vision and talent by muddying it with white people's input. And I think that's a wrong thing to do. Danny Mitchell says, "I'm changing mine to Night with Ping." Is that a channel about medieval studies with Danny Mitchell, the chat celebrity? Is that are you going to do, or are you going to talk about the movie with who's that artist? Who's that actor that died? The Aussie actor. Pronunciate, yeah. We got a new subscriber, did we? Are they in the chat? I'd like to say hi. Hey, Emily Narb, how are you? Yeah, very interesting, Mr. Roy. I'll put this link in the chat if people would like to continue on the conversation from earlier about the Indigenous artwork. Heath Ledger, that's right. It's Heath Ledger in The Knight's Tale. So Danny Mitchell is going to open up a channel called Night with Ping, and it's going to be discussing the movie A Knight's Tale. That's exactly what it is. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. I just want to get a drink. 1 second. I'm going to shame drink and then come back. All right, there we go. Do they allow drinking on the job? I'm not drinking alcohol, but they do allow drinking water on the job. Yes. All right, I've got another story for you. This one is just as interesting. Hold on. Hold on, my friends. I'll get it to you. It says, body found in Vernon Hills Pond identified as missing Carpentersville teen Barissa Romero. Says Barissa was heading to a work holiday party at Valero in suburban Vernon Hills when she went missing on December 4. We might be able to watch this if I rewind it. All right, let's watch this.
I was going to turn now to the update that a family from Carpentersville has been dreading tonight. Police confirmed they have recovered a body in their search for 17-year-old Barissa Romero, who's been missing for more than a week now.
Investigators believe she accidentally drove her car into a retention pond in Vernon Hills. NBC5's Regina Waldrop with our story tonight.
Tonight, investigators returned to a retention pond in Vernon Hills that's now the focus of a crash investigation. Hours earlier, a body believed to be that of 17-year-old Barissa Romero was pulled from the water. A vehicle matching the one she was driving the night she went missing also pulled from the same pond on Monday.
All of us in this area have driven past here so many times, and you just wonder how something this horrible could happen.
Barissa lived in Carpentersville. She vanished last week while on her way to a holiday party at a bowling alley in Vernon Hills. Police have been searching for her ever since. They say cell phone data led them to this retention pond at Executive Way and Lakeview Parkway. The Wrens live nearby. They place flowers near the water.
She's young, have her whole life ahead of her, and like something tragic happens like this. It's really sad.
Police say a preliminary investigation suggests Barissa accidentally drove into the pond after she failed to navigate the T intersection. They also say video from a nearby fast food restaurant taken shortly before her phone's last communication with area cell towers suggests she was driving at the time, and there's no indication of foul play.
And the last thing on my mind was an accident, ending up in one of these ponds out here.
The youngest of 5 children, Barissa was studying to be an ultrasound technician. Her family and so many others were hoping and praying she'd be found alive.
Just a really sad day for our community.
A formal identification of the body will be made by the Lake County Coroner's Office. Meanwhile, the investigation into the circumstances of that crash continues. Reporting from Vernon Hills, I'm Regina Waldrop.
The reason I did this one was because of the similarities to Kylie Rodney. I mean, it's amazing how many people lose control of their cars and end up in the water. It really is. And you would never think to look at one of those little, park ponds for a car and, someone inside. And that's exactly where she was. She was in that little tiny, I wonder if we have a photo of it. Not on this article. And, she'd been there for what? Since December 4. So she'd been there 11 days in that water inside her car, and no one knew she was there. The only thing that led them there was her cell phone signal. I mean, horrible for her family. She was just on her way to a Christmas party to have a bit of fun, and she is not coming home for Christmas, unfortunately. Yes, Lux, she was a very pretty young lady, wasn't she? It's horrible. You see so many pretty young people that they end up dying in unusual circumstances like this, and it's hard any time of the year, but even harder so close to Christmas. It feels like it wrecks the family's holiday and life. Joy to the Woo says there's a roundabout in Canberra with a pond in the middle of it. People used to drive into it all the time. They built a retaining wall now. Isn't that weird? Is there really a pond in the middle of a roundabout? Oh, I think I know that one. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. It's like a really big one, right, Woos? It's like one of those really big roundabouts. It's not a little tiny one. I think I've been there because we have a relative that lives in Canberra. Can't find it, but I was going to show you guys if I could find the photo, but I can't find it. Oh yeah, something like, is it that one? Here. There you go. A car in it. Right there. In the water of the roundabout. Silly place to put a pond. Maybe we should move the pond from the roundabout. There you guys go. Well, Gambler, that's how they often find people in the water. They don't find yeah. I'm sure they found the car first, yeah. Yeah, you can see there's a roundabout with the pond in the middle, and you could see how a drunk person could, or someone that loses control could just go straight into that water. It's a very silly design, very pretty design, but very silly. Hold on, guys, 1 second. Sorry, guys. Mrs. Ping called, and she's needed some help with something very quickly. Candy Williams says, if it's not well lit, sometimes water can look like part of the road. It can. Some of the roads down here, they've changed to LED lighting, and at night, medium strips actually look like the road. We hit a medium strip a couple of weeks ago in the middle of the rain while it was nighttime because the lights are not bright enough, and it looked like literally this giant medium strip looked like it was actually black road, and we hit it at full force and ended up flying through the air like something out of a movie. You know, we were just like doosh and just hit it and took off, and it was raining really heavy, so yeah, we almost had a bad crash. And it was just these stupid LED lights they have on the road are just so dim. They don't have much power to them, and they don't light up much of the road. Not like the old lamps that we used to have in the 80s. These new LED ones are quite dull. And yeah, so there you go. There's a story from Ping's weekend. We almost had a big crash. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let me see if I can get you another story before I send you on your way to Trish in a little bit. Oh yes, we could read about this. I'm going to leave the Idaho one for Trish. I know she's got it in her title for tonight, so I'll let her deal with that. Here. 13-year-old boy who took selfie after killing sleeping mom could be moved to juvie. That's juvenile detention. A 13-year-old boy who allegedly killed his mother in October could be moved to a juvenile detention center soon after a judge heard arguments and testimony on the matter on Thursday. Derek Rosa, who is charged with first-degree murder, reportedly stabbed Irina Garcia, 39, at their Hayleth home as Garcia slept near her 14-day-old daughter. A decision could be made on Friday regarding whether he will remain at Metro West Detention Center or be moved to a juvenile detention center, according to WPLG. Corporal Cyril Wims, a correctional officer at the adult detention center, testified that Rosa is flourishing while in protective custody. Really? Okay. Officials told WTVJ that Rosa is the youngest of 34 juveniles in custody, with the others being 16 or 17. So, yeah, being 13 is a few years off the rest. According to the news outlet, Rosa has no view outside his cell, which has frosted windows. He can only play with staff due to safety concerns. Rosa reportedly called 911 after stabbing Garcia multiple times in the neck. The teen allegedly told a 911 dispatcher he sent pictures of his dead mother to someone he met online. He went on to tell dispatchers that there was blood all over the floor. He said, "I took pictures and I told my friend about it." That's what he said in the 911 call. And then he said, "Was that bad?" Yes, sir, that is bad. According to the WPLG, Dr. Gina Batisha testified that Rosa is autistic and has ADHD. She also claimed Rosa said he was suicidal after he was arrested. A motive in Garcia's murder remains undisclosed. Rosa's trial is scheduled to begin in February. The teen's attorney is Jose Baez. Hey, we know who that is. Jose Baez, he was Casey Anthony's attorney. It says there, who previously represented Harvey Weinstein and Casey Anthony. There you go. Oh, geez. He has a interesting attorney for his trial in February. We'll have to watch that just to see his attorney, I think. There's a photo of him too. I find that interesting. He's not the first person I've heard that has rang 911 after committing murder to say something a little odd, like, "Hey, I stabbed someone and there's a body here and I cut off their head. Could you maybe sew it back on and make them alive?" Like, the people say some interesting stuff to 911 callers. I don't know why. It's a interesting thing. Lux says Jose is a monster. Yeah, it's very interesting. Robin Lane, hello, my dear. How are you? She says he is not cheap. Not cheap as a lawyer, but might be a cheap person. Oh. Laura G says, Ping, did you see that Stephanie Lazarus is up for parole after 27 years? I did not see that. Let me have a look. I'll have a look. Stephanie Lazarus. She murdered Sherry Rasmussen. Rasmussen? Is that how you pronounce that last name? I hope so. She shot her in the chest with a .38 pistol and struck her in the head with a ceramic vase. Yeah. NBC News is saying a former Los Angeles police detective for years hid the truth about how she killed her ex's new wife. Now she could go free. The family of Sherry Rasmussen is outraged that a California board recommended that her killer is eligible for parole. There's a photo of Sherry in 1986. A former Los Angeles police detective was convicted of murdering her ex-boyfriend's wife in 2012, more than 2 decades after Sherry was killed in the Southern California condo. But last month, parole officials concluded that Stephanie Lazarus, the former detective who was sentenced to 27 years to life in prison, is now eligible for parole. And Rasmussen's relatives are outraged that the woman who hid the truth about the murder and continued to work as a law enforcement officer for more than 20 years could go free. Lazarus, now 63 and incarcerated southeast of Los Angeles, pleaded not guilty during her trial and had not publicly admitted to her role in the 1986 killing until a parole suitability hearing on November 16th, according to two relatives who attended the hearing. So I think one of the things of parole is you have to admit your guilt, right? You have to say that you accept what you did was wrong and you're remorseful for it and you understand the pain you've caused people, that type of thing. They want to see that you're understanding of what your actions have caused and that type of thing. So that's maybe why she said it now after maintaining her innocence for, 30 years. It says here, Connie Rasmussen, Sherry's older sister, said in her family's first interview about the decision that while Lazarus acknowledged killing Sherry during the hearing, she did not apologize to relatives and appeared to downplay the seriousness of the crime, saying that she hadn't intended to kill Sherry when she went to the Van Nuys condo on February 24th, 1986. There's a photo of her in her Sunday best orange jail jumpsuit. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think she should stay in there for life? Or should she get parole? It says here, Lazarus was convicted of first-degree murder, Connie said, but she appeared to describe her crime as manslaughter. Sherry is a nursing director at a Los Angeles area hospital, was shot 3 times in the chest with a .38 pistol and struck in the head with a ceramic vase. Her left arm had also been bitten. I think I saw that one on a Forensic Files episode, and they did like dental impressions of her bite mark on her arm, and it was one of the ways they figured out who did it, if I remember correctly. Candy Williams says orange is her color. It is, isn't it? Robin Lane says Stephanie Lazarus is a monster. I think so too. When you are a cop, you should uphold society's, if the laws are one thing for the public and you are a cop, then you must be higher than those rules of society. You must be exemplary. You can't be like committing murders and stuff like that. Sherry Runs Late is the interrogation of Stephanie is outrageous. Emily Narb says, I remember this now. Yes, the dental imprint got her, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, the only reason I ever saw it was because I saw it on Forensic Files. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Barbara. Good to see you. I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat before. Where's my hand? Over here? Hey, I want to say hello to you. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you, Barbara. Thanks for being in the chat. How are you? Laura G says there's also an episode of People Magazine investigates about the case. It's very detailed. People Magazine investigates is actually really good. I've been watching a few of them recently myself. They've been on Crime and Investigation Network down here, and they're quite good. I don't think I can repeat that word, but I can put it on the screen. They called her, that thing because of her facial expressions. I don't think we can use that word anymore. Hey, Barbara. Barbara says, I like watching your show. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you to say. I'm glad people are enjoying it. Thank you, Laura, for bringing me that. I had no idea she was ever going to be even released from prison. I thought they'd got her dead to rights. Okay, we'll see if her parole hearing, maybe the family can apply pressure to the parole board to not let her out. Let me just check that they haven't done that already. Stephanie Lazarus. Let me have a look. Okay, she's just recommended for parole. She hasn't had like a full hearing yet. Sounds like she'll probably have to have a proper hearing at some point. Hey, sleepy boy, what's wrong? You gonna go to sleep? All right. He's tired. He's wrapped up in a ball now. Okay. Let me see if I can find another story for us. You know, last night I was actually going to bring you an update to Dr. Young out of Australia, but the update wasn't that significant and I just left it. I thought we were going to have more information from a police press conference by the time we went to air, but it wasn't really anything worth reporting. But his death is very tragic. Let me see if there is an update today on Dr. Young. Dr. Young was in his home in South Australia, and during the night, someone broke in and stabbed him several times in the gut, in the chest, and in the head. He died in hospital after undergoing emergency surgery, and the doctors turned off his life support machines as one final act to the world. He, you know, after being such a great doctor for so many years, he donated all his viable organs to other people. That was his last wish. Apparently, he wanted to make sure he lived on in other people and helped people who desperately needed organs. So let me just find if there's more information about him. About Mr. Young. Apparently there was footage of his offenders being arrested. There's a photo of Michael Young, died after being assaulted at his home in Gilberton in Adelaide's inner northeast. He fought hard to save children and other patients throughout his life. There's a baby he saved doing his work as a doctor. And these are the scumbags that are responsible for his death. This is Kerem Aiden and Jacinta Devella, both absolute scumbags. They did a home invasion on Dr. Young's home and stabbed him to death. There's a photo of the less than human people. There was a really good video. I want to play it for you because that dude gets absolutely smashed by a police officer, and I want to show it to you because it's really, really interesting. Let me see if I can find it. Come on. Let me see if I can get it. Where's these idiots' names? Here. Please have the video of him being arrested on this one. No? Aha, here. I found it. Wait, no. Let me see if it's in this list somewhere. Said it was on this link, but it's not. No, that's a Jill Biden thing. No, that's not it. Here it is. We can probably watch it here.
Evansville Plaza, a two-day murder manhunt comes
That's
to a
them up
dramatic
there in the
end.
corner here.
Karen Maiden is tackled
That's
to
the
the
girl.
ground. His fiancée, Jacinta Devilla, pushing their baby's pram, makes a run for it. Heavily armed Star Group
She runs
officers
off.
moving in just after 6:30 last night. The couple taken into custody and charged with the horrific murder of Dr. Michael Young.
Hold on, let's watch him get
At the
smashed again.
Torrensville Plaza, a two-day murder manhunt comes to a dramatic end. Karen Maiden is tackled to the ground. His fiancée, Jacinta
like seeing
Devilla, pushing their
bad
baby's
people get
pram, makes a run for it.
Justice served to
Heavily
them.
armed Star Group officers moving in just after 6:30 last night. The couple taken into custody and charged with the horrific murder of Dr. Michael Young.
They just absolutely demolished him. They just walked up to him so casually and they just like whacked him on the floor. They were actually in that shopping center shoplifting a first aid kit to treat the man's injuries from the home invasion where they killed Dr. Young. That's what they were actually doing at that shopping center in that footage. And I find it quite interesting when he was arrested, she tries to make a run for it with the stroller, with the baby in it. I mean, oh, that's okay, gambler. That's okay, buddy. Yeah, they were actually stealing a first aid kit because his injuries were so bad, like around his head and that. Oh, thank you, gambler. I'll have a look. That's very kind of you to say, Nanalana. Right. Lux says it's so heartbreaking when a wonderful person who does good in the world is taken out by worthless people. He did everything, and it's always the people who are like doctors who save babies or doctors who save cancer patients or something. Like, we don't have many of those in the world. We need to keep the ones we do. And I still want to know what the motivation was or what the motive was to break into that doctor's house at 4 a.m. in the morning and then stab him. I want to know what that is about. I want to know why they felt the need to be there. They're a young family with a baby. Like, what are you doing out at 4 a.m. in the morning doing home invasions? Like, they didn't know the doctor either. They had no idea, never met before, nothing. Maybe he rejected treating their baby. That's what I wondered. Maybe they put forward their baby to be treated and he rejected their case. I was wondering that actually. I was wondering if maybe that's where the connection is between them. Joy to the Woo says, and where was the baby at the time of the crime? Exactly. Who was minding the baby while both of them were committing a break and enter? But yeah, I wonder if we'll find out in court. Maybe it's got something to do with the hospital. You know, the fact they've got a little child, maybe because they don't have a lot of money, maybe they were turned away for some sort of surgery or something that the baby needs. And maybe they broke into his house as an act of revenge. It's really the only thing I can think of. I mean, I can't imagine they're breaking in there to steal valuables or anything. I mean, maybe they were, but it just seems a bit weird. Seems a bit strange. Hold on. Watch this. Look at this. Look at this cop right here. He goes, Bush, grabs him, and then just basically flips him over his knee like a judo move. And he's like, get on the ground. And then look at this. She knows the jig is up. She's just here behind the white pillar. Look at this. As soon as she realizes, oh, my husband is being arrested, let me run away with the baby as fast as I can. Let me make a run for it with the child and try and get out of here. Not help my husband. Let me run away. What kind of stand by your partner is that kind of thing? You know what that shows to me?
In
That
just
shows
after
to me that
6:30 last night,
they've done stuff like this before. They've done stuff like this. They've had this conversation about what happens if one of us is arrested. Oh, you make a break for it and run away. Don't stay for me. Emily Narb says coward. I agree. Absolute scumbags. So many people in this world think it's okay to just take from others instead of earn your own stuff. And that's where society is failing right now. There's so much of it going on where people just, well, I want what you have, so let me just take it. Or let me just break into your home and steal it. You know, people's respect for other people's property and things in life is at an all-time low, unfortunately. But yeah, that video made me feel a little better about what happened, but not really. The doctor is still dead, and his family are still going to be without him. Sorry, what the hell? Everything just cut out. Am I back? Is the stream going? Hold on. Yes, the stream's going. Oh god, good. Stream didn't end. All right, let's get to another story. One more ping, one more. All right, let me put that there. Let's put this here. Let's go here. Ex-boyfriend guns down Florida woman and her mother in a Miami condo. A Florida man forced his way. What? Where did this happen? In Yolanda Villas condominium in the Flangami area. Carlos Treviso. Let's have a look. Carlos, what have you been doing? Let's have a look at NBC. Man said he assassinated ex-girlfriend and mother in Miami condo. What is he, like a special ops group taking out a despot, like leader or something? I assassinated her, with my rifle. It says Carlos Alexander Treviso, 48, is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder in the shooting deaths of his 22-year-old ex, Isbelsi Olivero, and her mother, 50-year-old Irisbel Cartala. They have interesting names. A man is facing 2 counts of murder charges after police said he made his way to the Miami condo his ex-girlfriend and her mother shared and shot and killed them both, and then confessed he'd assassinated them. That is a weird way of describing that. Carlos Alexander Treviso, 48, is facing those 2 counts. There's a photo of him. Definitely looks like a hitman. I mean, he just has those crazy eyes. You know the crazy eyes we always talk about? He definitely has them. The shooting happened just after 9 a.m. Wednesday at the Yolanda Villas condominium at 801 Northwest 47th Avenue in the Flagami area. According to the report, police responded to the apartment 902 at the building and found both women shot inside. They were pronounced dead at the scene. About 20 minutes after the shooting, Treviso arrived at the West Miami Police Department and said in Spanish that he had assassinated 2 people and then he was taken into custody. According to the report, security camera footage from the building showed Treviso walking around the area about 30 minutes before the shooting. That is very interesting. It also showed him waiting for Catala to open the door for a witness and showed him immediately following the witness into the apartment as he retrieved an apparent firearm he was previously concealing. The witness told police they saw Treviso shoot Catala at least once. Treviso was arrested and booked into jail. At a bond court appearance Thursday morning, he was ordered held without bond and appointed a public defender. Is that the video for it? Can we see it? Show us the video.
Do you have Carlos Travieso, page 3?
It's a very quiet court hearing.
Good morning, Mr. Travieso. Do you speak English? Spanish interpreter, please. Sir, you were arrested for 2 counts of first-degree murder.
Señor, usted fue arrestado, tiene 2 causas de homicidio en primer grado.
Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you in this case?
¿Usted tiene los medios para contratar un abogado que los represente en estos casos?
He said no. I will appoint the public defender's office for you.
Okay, le voy a nombrar a la oficina de los abogados de oficio para que los represente.
We'll be invoking Mr. Travieso's right to counsel and his right to remain silent.
All right. There's probable cause for the charges of 2 counts of first-degree murder, no bonds for count 1, and no bonds on count 2.
Su abogada ha invocado su derecho a mantenerse en silencio. Su señoría indica que existe motivo fundado para las causas de homicidio en primer grado. No tiene fianza en la primera causa ni tiene tampoco fianza en la segunda causa.
So you'll see a judge in 21 days for your arraignment. Good day, sir.
Usted va a ir ante un juez en 24 días para que su lectura formal de cargos. Buena suerte, señor.
All right, there we go. You saw his court hearing. He said he couldn't afford representation, but you're an assassin. Don't assassins get paid a lot of money? Why can't you afford a lawyer? I thought you were like some big crime assassin. What's going on, sir? Mr. Treviso. You must be the most worst paid assassin ever. Where's your millions of dollars? And let me see. What does this say? Yes, thanks for being here. If you've liked this video and posted a comment, this thank you is just for you. Yes, just for you. Thank you very much. And we fixed this link too. Someone contacted me yesterday saying that the PayPal link was broken, and I've redesigned that thing on there now. So thank you to the person who reached out to let me know that the link was invalid. Apparently, it was missing something on the end of it. So thank you very much to that person. Volunteer. He's a volunteer assassin. Yeah, Sean, that's exactly what it is. He does it on a pro rata situation. He doesn't get paid till later on. You know, he has to kill them first, and then like later on at the end of the month, he puts in his sheet, and then he gets some money. Ay. We'll keep an eye on that one. It's not funny. Murder's not funny, but if you can't laugh at people, you can't laugh at the bad guys in the world. It's a very scary place. What? Laura G? Laura G says locally there was some good news. A police sergeant deliberately struck by a car has been discharged from shock trauma at rehab at Walter Reed. He lost both legs in the impact though. Oh, that's horrible for that officer. How horrible, but glad he is living and still able to get released from hospital and rehab. That's a good thing. Robert Lane says, I've been completely obsessed with the Dan Markle case. We've done a little bit on that over the years. Wasn't there something about Donna happened the other day? I saw her trending. Donna Adelson. I saw her name trending on Twitter the other night. Lux says, I was a caretaker for my gram who lost one leg. She always said if she lost the other, she didn't want to live. How sad. Is she still alive, Lux? You'll have to let me know. We only have a few more minutes, guys, and then we have to wrap up and get you guys over to Trish. Normally Thursday nights is our last show for the week. We normally finish up on a Thursday night, Friday in Australia, but I missed Sunday night show for you this week. So tomorrow I'm going to come back and do another extra show for you, and we're going to do a Friday night hangout, and we're going to talk true crime tomorrow night. Might talk a little bit about Dateline, maybe even Shark Tank. Who knows? No. We're going to do true crime. But yes, we will be doing that tomorrow night. You get one extra show this week, and then I'll be on break until Sunday nights with Ping, and then we'll have our first Sunday show in a couple of weeks, and then we'll get geared up for Christmas. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night. Thank you, Emily Narb. I appreciate it. It is very kind of you. Oh, Emily. Oh, my thing just flashed. Hold on. Emily says, great work, Ping. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. It's very, very kind. Yeah. Lux says, no, she passed away last year, Ping. We were so close. It's still hard. I'm sorry to hear that, Lux. I know that would have been very hard for you to deal with. Oh, hey, guys. I heard from Rebe. You guys remember Rebe from the chat? I heard from her the other day. She emailed me. She says hi to everyone. She got back from China, as most of you know. She started a new venture in life, and unfortunately it started to take up a lot of her time, which is a good thing. It means it's successful, and she can't be here as often anymore. So she wanted to let me pass on a hello to everyone in the chat and that she'll be back when she can. When she can get some time off from her new venture, she'll come and say hello. But until then, she wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So she misses you all in the chat. I don't think I've heard from anyone else, but she did contact me the other day. All right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow night for another episode of Nights with Ping. And yeah, you get an extra show this week on a Friday night. So until then, go hang out with Trish, go see what Insightful One are doing, and I will catch you tomorrow. So until then, see you later, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a great night. Thanks to the replay crew. Thanks to Moonlight View when she is here. She's probably eating dinner tonight because we're on early. But yeah. Oh, Rebe, R-E-E-R-E, Rebe. She was in the chat for like months. And she was in China at one point. Yep, see you later. Thanks, Candy. See you later. Yeah, you guys will remember her name. I promise you, you'll get it. Yeah, go hang out with Trish. She's going to be on in about 5 minutes. So until tomorrow night, good night, everyone. Have a great Friday tomorrow, and come back tomorrow night for another Nights with Ping. Okay, see you later, everyone.